But hello YouTube, I'm just going to do a accuracy test on the TH78D SMK. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two 5-round groups of Crosman magnum ultra pellets, two 5-round groups of the SMK black flats, and two 5-round groups of the Bisley magnums. So first, Crosmans. Right, so next up is two 5-round groups of the SMK black flats. Oh, I should mention that this distance is only 10 meters. two 5-round groups of the Bisley magnums. This rifle shouldn't have too much problems using these heavier pellets because it is being tuned to just under 12 foot-pound pressure. We don't like these pellets. And I've just changed the gas on this, so it's getting the full benefits of the CO2 at the moment. This is not grouping at all, really. So what I'm going to do now is, this rifle really does not like these pellets, okay, so these have been knocked out, and these ones group the best. I will show you the results later. And these ones weren't too bad. So what I'm going to do now, because I've only just changed the gas on this, I'm going to do another 2 5-round groups of these and 2 5-round groups of these. See the grouping results now. Okay, so I'm going to do the second group now of the Crosman Ultra Magnums. 2 5-round groups at 10 metres. I like these pellets. When I used to have my BSA Scorpion, these used to group the best. At 30 metres I'd get pellet on pellet group with the BSA Scorpion and the Crosman Ultra Magnum. However, as we all know, different rifle barrels are different. Some rifle barrels prefer different pellets to others. Right, that needs to be scrapped. Get out. To be fair though, I'm not massively impressed with the accuracy of this rifle. Not at 10 metres anyway, it's not great, but we'll come on to that later. Now I don't know if this rifle's not particularly that accurate because I tuned it. Maybe that's why. However, this rifle has had a full tuning, everything's been tuned on it. With the TR Rob tuning kit, I've done that about 8 years ago. I just find this rifle that the groupings are not consistent. You will find that this rifle that you would do a 5-round group and the rifle will group really good, and then you use the same pellet and then the rifle just doesn't group with it at all. Bearing in mind, like I said, this rifle has been tuned, so it might actually be a bit better when it's out the factory, it's not being messed around with. Yeah, see, the groupings with this are just massively opened up. It's very different to the first grouping that I've done with it. On the first 2 5-round groups that we've done. Right. Time to change targets. I will show you the targets once I've done all the shooting, so you can actually see the group, and we'll discuss it a bit. Right, so I just want to quickly talk about this, and this is what I mean with the inconsistencies with this rifle. That was just the groups I've done then, and you will see on the first 2 5-round groups I've done, the groupings are a lot better. Now some people might say, oh, it's because you've just changed the gas, as I said earlier, right? However, this was what before I was videoing, I was just messing around, and that's a 5-round group with roughly about the same shots that have gone through it now when I was shooting that group, so it's very inconsistent. Now I don't know if that's because it's been tuned. I'm assuming that's probably why it is, but I don't know. So anyway, we're just going back onto the next 5-round groups, 2 5-round groups of these, and let's see how these do again. However, I've got to put the target out, so I'll be back in a minute. So let's crack on with these now, same as before. 2 5-round groups. The thing is, none of these pellets I'm using either are cheap pellets. The Ultra Magnums are not cheap. These SMK black flats are not cheap really either. And the Bisley magnums ain't either. So it's not like I'm using cheap budget pellets here like SMK Spitfires. these are definitely the better pellet, I think, at the moment. Which is quite surprising. An actual rifle liking the actual brand of pellets that are the same as a rifle. Okay. But these seem to be the best ones so far. These actually aren't too bad. Yeah, these are a lot better. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. Good group that actually, both of them. So, I've done the accuracy and grouping testing with the rifle now. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go inside and we're going to discuss the groupings that I achieved with this rifle at 10 meters. And then once we've done that, I'll actually do a review of the rifle, but that'll be on a different video. But just come with me. Turn the So those groupings are actually not too bad. So definitely I think these are the pellets to stick with. The Crosmans, they're a little bit inconsistent. You get some really good groups, and we'll discuss this in a bit, and then you get some really bad groups, so don't want to rip that. Right, okay, so I will see you guys inside. Right, so I've come back inside and I've measured up the groups that we fired. Okay, so just to clarify, the setup I was using was the SMK TH78D CO2 air rifle. It had a £15 budget Amazon bipod on it, which I've had for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and it's always worked fine. It's worked fine on my air rifles and my rimfire rifles. And I was using the BSA 3 to 9 times 50 scope that again I've had for around about about 6 or 7 years now, and it also came with a single piece mount. This sight has actually been on my CZ452 for the last 5 years, and I only ever had to zero it once, and it always retained 0. So I know this sight is fine. Okay. Also, the rifle is not factory anymore. I have tuned it years ago with the TR Rob tuning kit, the full tuning kit. So it's got a different probe in it, bolt probe. It's got different seals in it, etc., etc., different internals and that. So the rifle's firing at around about 11.5 foot-pound pressure. So it's a lot more powerful than what they actually do come out of the factory as. So I don't know if that affects the accuracy or not of the rifle, but I thought it was a point to note. Okay. Yes, I know the rifle's a little bit long in the tooth now. I've had it for about 8 years, but I assure you, the internals, seals, the rifling, and all that on the rifle is absolutely fine. Okay, it does like to rust. Okay, so I've had to clean the rust off it and things like that, and that's why the bluings come off it and stuff. All right. Look at half of the rifles in the British Army; they're all looking like that because you get the old Scotch Brite on it and clean the rust off it. Right. So. Anyway, so the first set of pellets I'm going to talk about is the worst performing. So I'm going to go from worst performing to best pellets that I fired on the groups. Alright, so I fired 2 5-round groups of the Bisley mag, and what I got was on the Bisley mags, which are these ones. Yeah. Were 1.5" and 1.5" groups. Okay, so you can see them there and there. Okay, do I think that's a good group at 10 meters? Nope. But I believe a rifle should at least get 1 inch or below. Really, you look. I kind of want less than 1 inch at 10 meters. 10 meters is not a far distance for a rifle, regardless of if it's a budget rifle or an expensive rifle. I expect better accuracy out of a rifle at 10 meters. Because rule of thumb is that's 1.5 inches at 10 meters. At 20 meters, that's now going to be 3 inches. That's not good. All right. Okay. So I'm assuming it's just the barrel doesn't like those pellets. Alright, because the actual pellets themselves are actually pretty good. Good quality control. You know, that's the pellet here. It's quite a heavy pellet. Got a long skirt on it. And it's kind of like a domed / pointed style pellet. Okay. But the pellets themselves, they're actually alright, quality wise, but the barrel of that rifle just doesn't like them. Alright. Anybody who fires air rifles knows that you've got to find the right pellet for the right barrel, etc, etc. Yeah. Same with rimfires as well, you've got to find the right bullet for the right barrel. Okay, so the next ones that I want to talk about is the Crosman Ultra Magnums. Now I like these pellets. Okay, these are usually my go-to pellets. Them or H&M Field Target Trophies. Okay, but I know these are good pellets because when I used to have my BSA Scorpion at 30 meters, I could get pellet on pellet accuracy. So I know the pellets are actually quite decent pellets. All right. There you go. That's the pellet. It's a dome style pellet. Okay, quality control on these are quite good, I think. You know, you can tell that the pellet is a good quality pellet. All right, it's not like something like a SMK Spitfire or something like that. Yeah, or the BSA pellets. I don't like them. All right, I think personally these pellets are quite nice. All right. Not a bad price. They roughly retail for about, I think it's about £12 for 500. You know, but they're all right pellets. Okay. However, I get good groups and bad groups for this rifle with these pellets. So, first groups, you didn't see these on camera because I was just messing around in the back garden. Okay. But I got a 1.5 inch group there. Like I said, that ain't great really for 10 meters now, is it? Alright. But then that one is just under 1 inch. Okay. So that one ain't too bad. So the first 2 5-round groups that I fired, got that group there, which was just over inch, and then I've got that grip here, which was 1.5 inches. Okay, which is not good. That's okay. I don't mind that. That's all right at 10 meters. That's not great. All right. Like I said before, I expect 1 inch or less at 10 meters, even with a budget rifle. But what's the point having it? The rifle's supposed to be fairly accurate, isn't it? Right. So the next group was 1/2 inch. And then the other one was around about 1 inch. And I actually shot a smiley face. Yeah, I didn't mean to shoot the smiley face, but I shot a smiley face. Okay. However, I won't probably be using these pellets in the SMK anymore, because even though, yeah, I can get some okay groups of about 1 inch, it's not consistent with the Crosman pellets. All right, the Bisley magnums, the inches are always over 1 inch at 10 meters. It just doesn't really like those pellets. All right. It was the same with, I didn't bother grouping with these because it tends to be the same groups. It's the same with the H&N Barracuda matches. They don't group well in that rifle. I don't know, it's something to probably, maybe it's to do with the weight of them or the style of head on the pellet. I don't know, but it just doesn't like those pellets. In fact, these actually group worse than the Bisley magnums, but they're a good pellet. You know, they're not a cheap rubbish pellet. Surprisingly, the best pellets that fired out of this rifle was the SMK black flats. Now, it's actually nice for once that a pellet manufactured the same as the rifle, so i.e. SMK pellets, the SMK rifle, actually group the best in that rifle. And these pellets ain't actually bad. I mean, you know, don't think, oh, SMK pellets, oh, they're rubbish, because people predominantly think of things like Spitfire and stuff like that, which is a really cheap, nasty pellet. All right, but these SMK flat blacks are not bad at all. You get a nice little pad inside there to actually protect the pellets when they're in the tin. Okay, and they're actually quite good quality pellets, very well formed. The consistency of them are pretty good, i.e. you don't get like 5 really good pellets and then a couple of really bad, bent up, nasty, damaged pellets. Predominantly most of the pellets in this tin have actually been very nice. So the quality control was there with these pellets, which is quite nice actually, to be honest with you. I quite like these pellets out of that SMK. So the pellets that I'll be buying from now on for that rifle will be these ones. So we're going to go on to the groups of them now. And this actually changed my opinion a little bit on this rifle. Because to begin with, my opinion on this rifle was it's like a shotgun. It just doesn't group at 10 meters. It's pretty bad, right? Even for a budget rifle, I was like, nah, don't really like it. But today, it's changed my opinion a little bit, actually, on this rifle. So, basically, I shot 20 pellets. So, 4 rounds, 4 groups of 5 rounds, okay? And none of them were over 1 inch. So, this is the type of accuracy I expect at 10 meters out of a rifle. Okay, even a budget one like that. Right, so the group here was just over 1 inch. The group here was 3/4 of an inch. Okay, the next lot, same 3/4 of an inch group there, and 1/2 inch here. Okay, so these pellets are the most consistent as well in this rifle. They just work well in this rifle. So these will be the pellets that I use from now on with this rifle. I would like to try and get this rifle out a bit further to see what it can do with these pellets. But we'll have to wait and see if that's possible, because the gun club that I shoot at with my rimfires don't particularly like shooting air rifles down there anymore for some reason. So I've got to find somewhere now where I can actually shoot these rifles a little bit further out. Okay, so cut the long story short, for me these pellets work the best out of a tuned SMK TH78D. Alright, so just remember it is actually tuned. So just because these pellets work well in my rifle, it doesn't mean that these will work well in, say, a factory rifle that's just come out of the factory without being tuned. And also, air rifles tend to be a bit picky with pellets. So just because a pellet works well in one rifle, say, let's say BSA R10, right? You get a pellet, and let's say this is the best pellet for that particular rifle, and then your mate goes out and buys the same rifle, exactly the same manufacturer rifle, and then buys the same pellets, and then shoots these pellets through his or her rifle, and then the accuracy is really bad, but then the accuracy with these pellets are really good in that rifle. Yeah, where in the other R10, the accuracy is really bad in this rifle. So it's just finding the pellets that work best for your rifle. Okay, you know, that can get expensive. What I suggest you do is you can go on places like Amazon and eBay and buy sample packs, and then you can try them out on your rifles to see which ones group best. Make sure the missus can't hear. Luckily for me, my missus bought me a nice MP02, one of those Crow PCP air rifles for Christmas. She don't know that I know, but I know. So I'm looking quite forward to getting that at Christmas. So I'm gonna have to get some of those sample packs to see what pellets work best out of that rifle. So hang tight on that, and I'll do a review on that soon, obviously after Christmas. Alright. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I will be doing a review of the SMK rifle TH78D probably tomorrow or the next day. So be looking forward to that. So thank you for watching, and have a lovely evening. Goodbye.